It's really late, and I'm half asleep, which is why I'm not talking too loud. But I thought that I would play a little bit of classic World of Warcraft Burning Crusade because it's been a long time. And when I last played, I believe I was in Hellfire Peninsula. If I even recorded any of that, I don't even remember. So I'm in Zangarmarsh right now, but I want to go and get some of my skills. So we're going back to Moonglade. Gonna pick up a few skills. I might roam around the map a little bit. There might not be a lot of fighting in this. Fair warning. It's just to have some fun. Wrath of the Lich King Classic will be coming out sometime this year. People are expecting it to be closer to the end of the year, as in like September, October. Nothing like in the next few weeks or whatever. Never mind, already know just what's available. These are starting to get fucking expensive. Rejuvenation, 888. Yeah, it's better. But it also costs more mana, 370. Oh, only 10 more mana. You might laugh and say, as if you're not getting your bite. I might as well get it. And that one. I don't really use Ferocious Bite. I'm a bleeder. That's just how I roll. I have to admit, I don't miss this style of having to manually replace. Because now it just it scales. Everything's automatic. You don't have to do this bullshit. Let us find... Now I have to double check to make sure I'm using the best. Regrowth 9. Rejuvenation 12 to replace the 11. Now let's go... Since I'm not using the guide, let's just go through the old days where you couldn't go through your mount through here, or any type of inn. And look how slow I'm moving. Because heaven forbid, the faster speed only works outside. See? And all of a sudden my speed's picking up. These are the things that drive me fucking crazy when comparing classic to retail World of Warcraft. There's absolutely no doubt.
Peace, friend.
Ah, I'd like you to fly me to Thunderbluff. I almost forgot about this guy.
We shall meet again.
Because Thunderbluff... Oh, that's real. I completely forgot about that. Because right now we've got... Oh, yeah, Thunderbluff there. I have to admit, I was a little disoriented for a moment. Yeah, Orgrimmar there. Thunderbluff. You know where I feel like going? Somewhere that it's completely changed since retail. 1,000 Needles. The amount of people that you could see in there, but we also have a Flight Master somewhere down here. So yeah, let's just do the Thunderbluff guy. Let's see how long does he not want to do it?
Greetings, traveler.
There we go. It's because I was mounted. So let's enjoy this little view for a bit. I wanted to do a montage of flying for World of Warcraft Classic. Because in the old world, in this world, like non-expansion maps, right? You can't fly unless you're on a griffin. Or hippogriff, whatever, depending on the faction that you're playing. So to see the world from this perspective is kind of really nice. Now, because the flight path is specifically to Thunderbluff, I'll be honest, I thought it was going to do a thing where it kind of teleports you. You know, where it just kind of skips time and brings you there. Look at the graphics, eh? It's so funny. Two-dimensional leaves. And even in retail, these trees have never been remade. I think some of them have, but definitely some of the textures could use work. But all in all, I do really like this game. It has its own unique engine, which I think works nicely. Yeah, that would be cool. But I don't think it'll ever happen because they didn't do it in retail. Plus, I think it takes away from the charm. If you were to use like Unreal Engine for World of Warcraft, I mean, of course it would look better. But it would take away the vibe, right? Now, these don't look too bad, but these, what the fuck are those? But don't forget now, the game was created half a lifetime ago. So, I mean, I'm in my 40s, and this game came out around 2000, 2001 in terms of when they started to develop it. Officially, it released in 2004, but obviously they were working on it for a few years before that. That's a long fucking time. I mean, holy shit. And the fact that I still play it from time to time, I haven't gotten bored. I've gotten annoyed of it, but never bored. Problem with this game is, even though it's classic, and in my opinion, it's a better game, more rewarding, retail does offer a lot of amazing things. However, its shortcomings I can't be bothered with. Now, I could do the whole request the next stop. Let's see what happens if we do that. See if it drops us off in Ashenvale somewhere. Or the Barrens. But yeah, this world, even though we don't really see anybody right now, it is full. It's full of Horde. This one's imbalanced. It's 99.9%. I have seen in 3 or 4 days since I've been back, I've seen 1 or 2 Alliance. But I'm thinking if I stick around to move over to RP PvP Grobulus where it's 50-50 and the population's always high. So right now it's quite relaxing to level through because there's no Alliance that can gank you. Whereas in retail, sure, you can fly around all over the place, but you're not going to see anybody. You got the fancy cat, you know, the cat forms, all the transmog, all that bullshit. You can switch specs on the fly. You could do all these things, and that's why I call the retail version of WoW. I always coin it with the phrase, all flash, no bang. In other words, it's flashy, but where's that spark? Where's the bang? There's none. In my humble opinion, unless you're just doing BGs and you don't give a shit about what I'm doing here. You don't care about the overworld. Running into people, buffing them, actually giving them buffs. There's no buffs. Well, next to none now in retail because they pruned all those skills. There's no reason for you to get off your mount, throw someone a buff. They get off their mount, they take a moment, they thank you, they whisper you and say, hey man, thanks. Then they buff you back. It sounds silly and superficial, but I love those little things, those little supposed meaningless interactions that you have with other people. You don't get that in retail. Then with the LFG, you just look for a group and that's it. Whereas here you have to talk to people. You don't just automatically get thrown into a queue for a dungeon or a raid and that's it. Doesn't work that way. So, I'm happy that in Wrath, they have decided that even though in real Wrath, you know, versus fake Wrath of the Lich King, they are not going to introduce the LFG group, even though it originally did come in Classic. The community have spoken, and even Blizzard said that they agree. It really does help capture that essence of what made Classic Classic. You had to spam the general chat. You really had to get out there and mingle with the people. So, I'm excited for that. Also, Wrath of the Lich King was one of the easiest expansions to gear up with for PvP. As long as you played 30% of games, 9 or 10 games in total for the team, you could sub out every 3 games an alt, and you would get those conquest points, and you would eventually gear up nicely. Look at those ropes. 2-dimensional ropes. If I get the angle just right, they almost disappear. Now we're going to go to 1,000 Needles because
Hail.
it's ugly, but it has its charm. Camp Mahaj. No, not Feralis. Freewind Post, eh? Sorry, let me just try and figure out how I want to do this. Do I want to do Camp to... I always call it Tajuro. I don't know why. Tarajo. I mean, Freewind Post is essentially where I technically want to go. So we might as well just go there. And let me quickly make sure. Yeah, ground clutter, I like to have it on a bit lower. Everything else is essentially maxed out. Like the draw distance and all that shit. Actually, there is no actual draw distance slider on this one. Like there is, I believe, on retail. Oh, I was like, what the hell are those? This is actually where I bought my Kodo, right here. Just a couple of days ago. Yeah, so this game might not be nearly as flashy. You can only fly in certain areas. There's no transmog. You can't queue for a battleground unless you physically go to town. One of the major cities, predominantly. And then queue up from there. Obviously, if you go to Arathi Islands, you can do like Arathi Basin there. Go figure. If you go to the, not the hinterlands, Hillsbrad Foothills, you can queue up for Alterac Valley manually there, so there used to be a lot of world PvP. That was actually where we PvP'd before Battlegrounds even existed. That's right, at some point in the game, in the early beginning, there was no Battlegrounds whatsoever. So people got out their frustrations on each other in Hillsbrad Foothills. And then later you could queue for Alterac Valley there. So you could go there, get in a queue, and then gank some lobies. Look at how low to the ground. Because I'm not controlling this guy, right? This is all autopilot. I hope you know that. Definitely going low to the ground so you can get that nice up close, you know, shot, whatever. Speaking of flying low, there was a glitch near the Alliance area of, oh, I can't remember the name. It would help if I could. It's near Elwyn Forest. And there's a flight path. And there's enemies nearby. And if you're a hunter, and you shot and sent your pet over, while you got on a flight path master, which these fly automatically and then later became a mount for the horde here, you were actually able to control and go all over the world on the mount, on the flight path mount. You couldn't fly, but you would hover above the ground like I just was a moment ago there. See, this is all underwater now in retail, and there's like essentially no reason to fucking be there. really kills off the game. It's bad enough that it's dead to begin with. Now we want to have it so it's just all fucking flooded. It's stupid. Don't give me the, well, it's Cataclysm, the dragon that did that. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Don't fucking care what anyone says. Watch it be the other. Yeah, I knew it. Of course, it's the other one. So again, this area is underwater. I'll show you the map in just a moment there. By the way, Semper Viren may seem like an odd name because it is. It's one of the biggest and the tallest tree species in the world, found on the west coast of California, United States. I'll show off this one here. This is a special mount that you can only get in this game. Back in the day, this was not a mount that you could get. And when you go and do your Hearthstone, you can make it look like the Dark Portal. Little subtle touches they've added to the game. So yeah, Barons got torn apart. Barons isn't too bad on retail, I suppose, from Cataclysm. But Thousand Needles and Shimmering Flats on the east coast of Thousand Needles. This is all underwater, just completely fucking butchered. Really, I mean, there's no sugarcoating it. And this is also a fairly historic moment, or area moment. I'm having a historic flashback from back in the day. There's been a decent amount of PvP here. There's quite a few alliance that can come here, even though this is predominantly very much so a horde area. Because we've got Freewind Post, we don't have an alliance settlement here. Tanaris, which there used to be a lot of ganking there. That's down here. We may go there. Alliance have a little hub over here for a flight path. So I suppose you could say they have some stuff. And then there's like a bunch of quests you can do around here. Actually, I think you get your succubus for Warlock in one of these caves or something like that. Yeah, so this game can be incredibly relaxing or frustrating, depending on what it is you're doing or what the game is trying to do to you. Now again, 4:30 in the morning, realm time. There's not necessarily going to be a lot of people here. But overall, it's quite incredible the amount of people I just run into questing. But like, look at this. There's so much history for anybody who's ever played World of Warcraft. Even though this is very, barren-like, it's just very, see what I mean? Back in the day, when druids needed, you needed a reagent to be able to resurrect people, and it was on a 20-minute timer. I forgot about that. You can't just resurrect people at will, from what I remember, even if you're resto. Now, this person could be AFK, but it doesn't say that they are. WDF. If they were level 1, I'd be like, yeah, they're a bot. But they made it all the way to 32. So, I think they just passed out. They took a nap. I wasted my 20-minute rebirth and a hornbeam seed on him. I hope you're happy. There's the Kodo. It appears to be moving faster because, its legs. Anyways, I don't need to explain it. So yeah, crazy PvP. I'll never forget my human paladin. It was right around here, along the edge, right on the east coast of that little pond of water. 2 undead, forsaken rogues tried to take out my retribution paladin. Long story short, I fucked them up twice. Because the first time they got the jump on me, and then I camped them. Oh, this is too... What's the word I'm looking for? Quentin. Poor Quentin. It's kind of funny. Well, I don't know why this is funny, but... It's almost like Gammon. Anybody who's played WoW will know Gammon. He's just an NPC. Now it'll say Shimmering Flax is under attack. But the chances that there's someone that comes here to kick my ass... It's hard to say. There's no alliance really here, so... As I've mentioned. But I'm only 63, right? My gear is shit. Even the haze in the background's a little bit different. Oh. Somebody's here. Someone's questing. Yeah, so this place I miss. It's just one of those extra areas that you can run into people. I also believe that even for the nighttime, they did a good job, I think, of making it not so dark. I could be remembering wrong, but I thought I remembered the game being uncomfortably dark, sort of like in real life. Tenaris, potato. It's another area that changed, especially with the town here. Good old Gadgetzan. One of the areas, along with Stranglethorn Vale, that had the most ganking in the history of the world. I used to grab my hunter. There was a person there. I used to jump up here, which was actually pretty complicated, on my hunter right there. And I would snipe off people and kill them. Because I'm an asshole. Along with my Tauren elemental shaman. Harnessing the power of the lightning through my fingertips. And it was a lot of fun. How I got up there? That in itself, believe it or not, was a little bit tricky. I don't remember how I did it. It might have been actually up here. I don't know if they... I don't know what the word would be called if they nerfed it. But yeah, I'm starting to remember it used to be somewhere, you know, kind of like this. And see what I mean? Kind of hook onto the edge, you jump up there. And even though there's a guard there, and I would get busted, you can feint death. So you pretend like you're dead, but most of the guards would clue in. There's a few dead spots, like if you were right here, you were like a decent distance away. You could shoot someone, you know, it was maybe in here or there. And you could just tear them a new one. Definitely not taking on the Flight Pathmaster. I absolutely would get killed. Yeah, this is all like water now. Like this section got all ripped up. You still have the Cavern of Times and all that. And then this is where, for Cataclysm, there's a new area in here. That somehow just magically isn't there now. I have to admit, some of the ways they implement the new expansions can be a little bit funny sometimes. Even inside the inn. I used to... Were those guys there before? I think they were. I can't remember. There's a lot of level 70 mages for some reason. The one that hurt anyways. I don't want to start a conspiracy theory. If I'm not mistaken, some of these can have you travel with high-level engineering to Booty Bay. But I could be mistaken on that. The last place I want to go is the almighty Stranglethorn Vale. I thought that would have been nice to go to. Oh yeah, Shat Desolus, yeah. Ratchet. Rat shit. Oh my god, I'm immature. Yeah, so this will take you through what I call Old Tenaris, yeah, because from this moment on, it's all underwater. It's all like little islands. This has brought a lot of ganking because back in those mountains there, and that's the Pirate Cove, or whatever, it's where all the mages used to go and line up all the level 40-something pirates. You know what I wish they would do? A lot of people argue that it's stupid, but it's not. It's all about options. The more options you give people, the better. Now, if you force said options on people, that's not good. But what if you made just one server? Maybe two. One normal, one PvP. And it would be called Classic Plus. Essentially, you would bring in some of the core features of retail into Classic, where your latest expansion is, you know, right now the Burning Crusade or Wrath of the Lich King, but you bring in things like Transmog, all the extra flight paths they've added. I truly feel are strategically, meticulously thought out and well placed. Did that sentence even make sense? And if they did that, don't bring back like LFG and shit like that and being able to queue for a battleground in the middle of the air, because that takes away a lot of what makes this world feel connected amongst one another. Let me explain. If you do LFG, in case you're not a WoW person, and you happen to be watching this video, and you happen to be this far in, yeah, that'll never happen. You just get teleported to the dungeon. Whereas in Tristful Glades, where the Forsaken are, near the Undercity, if you're Alliance and you want to go to Scarlet Monastery, you got a journey ahead of you, okay? But if you do LFG, you could be hiding like a coward inside a Stormwind, just queue up, and that's it. You get teleported inside. So it takes away seeing people travel. I'm almost tempted to show you that, but I don't know if I want to do that. It'll be boring for most people. So don't bring in the LFG because of the auto-teleportation. Again, there's already an LFG here where you can look for a group, you know, as to what you want to do. But then it just, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even remember how this works, to be honest with you. Yeah, it just puts you in a list. Interface, I don't even know how that works. I think all it does, there it is. It just shows you other people that are wanting to do it. And then you message them and you're like, hey man, see my name's right there. Hey man, you want to do that shit? And that's pretty much it. It doesn't just automatically throw you into the group. And then that's it, right? I mean, it's a nifty feature, but it in my opinion, in many ways, it ruined the game. This one, it forces you to talk to the people. Ratchet, for the most part, hasn't really changed. See? 4 o'clock in the morning, it's still nighttime. I promise you, I remember 20 years ago, almost, being in the Barrens around this time when it was still considered nighttime with the moon. It was a lot darker than this. I mean, I get it in real life in the summer. You know, around 5 a.m. the sun can start coming up, but this does not really feel like nighttime at all. I wish I had footage to prove it to you. Now, Stranglethorn Vale went through some changes as well. And that's where there used to be just an insane amount of ganking. I would hide in the water, see all these little gnomes roaming about, and I would just mangle them, dispose of their body to the crocs. And you're thinking, oh my god, this guy's crazy. No, let me show you. It'll all make sense. I feel like I'm playing on a private server. Well, I mean, even those have a fairly decent population, but sometimes not that I know anything about them. For the record, it's one of those bizarre things, by the way, where if somehow a Blizzard employee is suspicious or has proof through admission or whatever that you have ever played on a private server, like if there's a big time, you know, WoW streamer, like let's say Asmongold. Well, maybe not him, because he's really big. He's like the Tom Cruise of fucking YouTube and Twitch when it comes to this shit. And you're like, yeah, man, I was on... Actually, they say bro. They don't say man. They're like, yeah, bro, I was on that private server, man. It was pretty good. And then somehow they go to log into their real account later, and they're banned. Now, I don't know how I feel about that. And what I mean by that is that has nothing to do with this game, especially if you're already paying. Right? I get it. If everybody was playing private servers, Blizzard would lose money. Oh, there's a fellow druid. Oh yeah, that's right. This is something I keep forgetting about. Here's a change right here. You can't even get on your mount in Booty Bay. I used to be part of a guild I made called the Booty Bay Bootleggers. Oh man, I used to gank. You see that little pier, that post that looks like a, you know what I'm saying? I used to hang out there. Oh my god, I can't even use my travel form. And I'm moving in slow motion. Because, anyways. Used to hang out right there and snipe people down and then faint death and the guards could never get me. I would go on a murderous rampage. And as a night elf rogue, or a druid, I would come here sometimes when people were trying to buy a bird. And I would be like back here. I would prowl into the shadows. It's like, yeah, you want that bird? And I would take them out. Because there's like no guards here.
For the Alliance.
Right? They don't know what's going on. Good times. Man, so ridiculous. So that Classic Plus server I'm talking about, it would incorporate you being able to mount here, being able to use travel form, and having my bonus movement speed in here, everywhere. There is no reduction now in movement speed. Look at how piss slow he's going. There we go. Just picking it up a little bit. Oh, you can mount here. Okay. So I forgot where it transitioned. Down over there, there's a huge coast. That's where you can do some rep. Now here you got to be careful because there's the Gurubashi Arena. That was a terrible accent. I wasn't trying anyways. Everybody knows the arena. Every man and woman for themselves, or whatever it is you identify as. Yeah, that's another story for another day. Actually, I've already made videos on that. Where I made a slight joke. And most people liked it. But some people got bent out of shape. And I'm like, hey, it's not hate. It's a legitimate thing. I said something as I might as well just fucking say it now. If I'm gonna get canceled over this, that's fucking ridiculous. I think it was Facebook or some other place now. When you fill out forms and you pick your gender, you know, it's one thing, you know, you're born either a man or a woman, right? And to me, I was like, you know, it's one thing if you identify as the other one. And I was caught off guard by this. And I mean, I've been around a long time. And then all of a sudden, I think there was like 50 something different genders. I was like, what? The number isn't the problem. It's trying to memorize them all. I can't do it. Never thought I'd see the day where I would not be able to remember all of those. So in the forms, I was all for male, female, or other. And under other, you would have a little line underneath, and you could manually input which one you identify as. To me, the list keeps changing. So it's like, why try and keep up with putting the actual name in? Just, anyways. Look at my icon at the top left. It's still the horde symbol. This is the arena. You step foot in there, that's it, you're dead. A person of your own faction can kill you. Sometimes, I think it's this guy. He'll put a chest in the middle and it's like the arena thing. I honestly forget the whole point of it. I think it helps twink characters as well. But I've fought a few people here, and I've had people just absolutely rage. Yeah, see, you can't even mount there. See, look at my symbol there. Now watch this. See that? It says right on it, free for all PvP. You can now attack and be attacked by any player in the game. No matter what server you play on. No matter what you do. Usually that is one place, depending on the time, and even then, where you can come across death. See, I still have the buff for free-for-all PvP, even though I'm out of the area. I don't remember it dragging on that far. But yeah, so that was my thing about... Got off topic there. With the gender thing. And that is one thing about life, again off topic, that I really hate, is you can't lightheartedly poke fun or legitimately question something that you truly don't understand without always there being someone that is insanely butthurt over your comment. It's dangerous. It's deadly, some people will say, to have this attitude. And I'm like, wow, you're special. So Stranglethorn Vale is separated into a north and south now. There's like a big maelstrom whirlpool thing going on. Oh. We got someone. Someone's in here. It's probably an alliance. A horde. I meant like an alliance, like a person of my faction. There, I gave him the 1 hour buff. So I just love doing stuff like that. It's so fun. Naturally, at different times of the day, there'll be way more people to do this with. And they appreciate what you do. Again, on retail, you can't do this. Everybody's in heirlooms. It's that gear, if you're not familiar with it. That's equivalent to blue gear. And it scales to your level. And you can use it if you upgrade it. From like throughout your entire leveling career. It's pretty wild. Gromgal, that's the Horde town. There's an Alliance one here, which makes sense because there's no Alliance town in this one. And there's a flight path. So again, Classic Plus, I would bring that Alliance town in. Absolutely. If I wasn't so fucking lazy, every time I show you the map and I show you something here, it's like, see how it's different from retail? I would actually cut over to retail. Retail just means like the newer version of the game, by the way, in case you didn't know. And just to see like what it looks like. Oh yeah, I remember her. Samantha Swifthoof. And she would attack you if you were Alliance. I think. I don't remember if she was hostile or... But yeah, you grab a quest off her. Oh. The Undead Mage, 67, still prowling around on a newbie. 60% speed mount, whereas I'm 100%. Yeah, the draw distance is not as good from what I remember versus retail. So Classic Plus would maybe incorporate that. In terms of the graphical changes, I don't know if I'd want to bring that over. If we did a look at me, eh? As if I'm gonna bring this plan to fruition. But I try to think logically of what most things people would agree with on the Classic Plus. Again, this would only be for a few servers, not every single one of them. Here we go. God, it's changed so much because in retail, this place is huge. It's like a massive camp. There's NPCs. There's like a bunch. Oh, there's another fellow druid. It's crazy. Here it's just two little shit tents. Oh, I almost want to go on retail and fly around. Actually, should I do it? Because I could just fly around. I'm almost tempted in a way to do that. So you saw quite a bit. Yeah, you know what? I'm really tempted to do it. I think I'm going to do it. I might as well. I've gone this far. I mean, how long have I been recording for? It's only been 45 minutes. Don't be shy, man. So this is retail. I have to find a way to get back there, but see what I mean? You can't do that in Classic. You can't look this sexy. Look at that. Look at that. The problem is there's nobody here to show off to. Oh, fuck. Where did I start off? Hold on. Let me try and get my bearings here. We'd have to go back. Southern Barrens. How the fuck would I even do that? No, hold on. Where does this bring me? Returns you to Heart of the Forest. No, we won't do that. This is Dalaran. Is it Dalaran we want to go to? Ah, fuck, I don't know. So in many ways, this game is cooler. You've got more races, like for example, I'm a Zandalari. Troll. I can instantly fly. Like it's just so different. The new portal room. Come on, where is Thunderbluff? Fuck, I haven't played this version of the game in so long. But you'll recognize this spot here where I'm at. This is Orgrimmar, right? But there's a new room that they've built. Except I don't fucking remember how to fucking get Thunderbluff. It might be... It used to be here. Yeah, they've completely fucking changed it. Really? I hadn't discovered that area? So let me just go into, like, Ratchet is right there. It's not, like, super far. I think earlier I was in Winter Spring. I can't remember where the fuck I started my journey almost an hour ago. Remember I talked about the Barrens and how it changed? Yeah, that's right. I flew from... Oh, I flew from Hearthglen. Hearthglen. Oh my god. Yeah, to go to... Anyways, it doesn't matter. See how dark it is here? And it's 5 a.m. realm time. Remember how I was talking about how it's bright? Mind you, that was in Ratchet. Actually, let's go here. There's a new flight path that's normally not here. Again, the quality of life improvements. No, you ding-a-ling.
What's up?
Holy shit, look at all those flight paths. There we go, Ratchet. You remember that. So we'll try to do the same journey, but I'm going to be flying. So you kind of see the difference. There's definitely some subtle ones. See, view distance again. There's environment detail ground clutter, but there's no view distance. I knew I wasn't fully crazy. And all these extra buildings have been added in. Again, we're in the Barrens here. The Crossroads is a famous place. Remember, then we'll fly to Freewind Post. You'll see what that looks like. If you can even fly there now, because it's all underwater. Let me get rid of that. Let me close this. And we're still flying a bit low, but not that low. Yeah, the draw distance is definitely better in this version of the game, so I would bring in that view distance slider into effect, into Classic Plus. So this section here won't really look any different at all, except for in the horizon here, all that greenery from the changes. See? It's been separated into North and South Barrens because there's that big lava thing there. That's added. All those big towers that weren't there before. These are all the changes that occurred after Cataclysm, arguably the single most impactful expansion ever. Oh, there's the boat. Sweet. Even the water looks different. But see, we were in the Barrens. And in retail, it was pretty light out. See, look how dark it is, remember? There was no stars. And it was nighttime when you... Actually, they have a calendar here now, but... And the other one, it showed that it was nighttime. So I think what happened is that dynamic day and night wasn't really there. See? Look. Look at that big fucking moon. That wasn't there on Classic. Don't make me go back on it. Right? And you could see like the orange clouds and all that. So Classic is easier on the eyes regardless of what time of day or night you play. Actually, in the early beginnings of WoW, there were no day and night cycles, actually. They added that in shortly afterwards. I have PvP on, so I have to be careful because I could actually die. I haven't played this game in forever. I keep forgetting about that. I could turn off PvP. Look at the talent tree. It's so different. With this here, go to any rested area, just click it, and boom, you turn on. Look at all the different maps, eh? A little bit brighter here on this side. Remember how you couldn't mount? Remember that shit? Now watch this shit. Tell me I can't fucking mount. See? I can mount. And I can fly. See? This is the spot I was talking about. Right there. And I would shoot people down below, faint death. So there's a huge change there. I think everybody would agree. You should be able to mount. Now, we were just here. You know what I forgot to do? Go to 1,000 Needles and show you how it's all underwater, because I got distracted. But you know what? Whatever. Doesn't matter. You could tell how it's different. See, there's the arena up there. See, there's an extra flight path there. This is Southern Barrens. Or Stranglethorn Vale, and then there's Northern. See? There's that Alliance one I told you about. But we'll go through all that because this is probably fresher in your mind. Music's different. They've added music to the soundtrack. Guru Bashi Arena Man. See, it still more or less looks the same. I don't want to get too close because I'll get... See, there's an extra NPC there that you could talk to, get a quest. So on the surface, we can see how retail's a lot more fun. You fly around, all these different mounts. You can queue for a battleground out of nowhere. As I'm not remembering how to do it. There, see? Player versus player. Let's do a random battleground. Let's do a 40-man one as well. Double queue that. 10-minute wait for a BG. See? Remember that big maelstrom water thingy I was telling you about with the swirly thing? There it is. I wasn't making it up. Because we were just here a few minutes ago and I was like, hey, they should bring that Alliance town in if we ever did Classic Plus. Now, obviously, you wouldn't want this changing. But just the little flight path thing, you could easily add that in. Graphics again. Look a little crisper. Now I'll show you the place where all the ganking happened. Nesingwary Expedition. Because apart from that, all of this is relatively the same, apart from some lighting differences and whatnot. And then I think I'll end the video with showing you the area that's underwater there. Remember, I was like, hey, look, the shimmering flats. Remember this spot here? Oh, where the hell is it? Yeah, it's on the other frickin' continent. What the hell was that? I gotta be careful because there's people that can dismount you. And I'm incredibly weak. 165 item level. It's built into the game where it shows you how strong you are. Remember how I said, oh, look at that, just 2 little shit tents? Remember? We're just here a minute ago? Look at that. Where's the 2 shit tents? There's like a bunch of tents, a fence. There's guards and shit. I mean, they're not really good, but thought they were higher level than that. I think they might just spawn in. But see the difference? Even like the lighting and everything just, I don't know. Definitely looks different. All right. The last place I want to take you to before we call it quits is the Shimmering Flats where I told you it was all flat. I guess we might as well dream walk. All the cool things that you can do in this game. If I didn't care about flying around the overworld and running into people. Oh, man. Fuck, I haven't played this in so long. Grizzly Hills, Feralis. Oh, Feralis. Yeah, that's a good place. This only druids can do this, by the way. You can just teleport around the world on a 1-minute timer. Remember where I said, oh, that kind of freaked me out for some reason. Let me just leave the queue here. We're not actually going to do these. Remember that place? That narrows it down. Remember that place? I'm going to go there and I'm going to fly to, just to make it a little quicker. Remember earlier I said this here? It helps if I show what I'm talking about. See? It's all underwater. Remember? Shimmering Flats, it was all gray. I resurrected that person right around here. There's Freewind Post. There's not even a flight path there anymore. Because it's all taken over by bad people. And I was like, hey, the Alliance have a spot like right there. Yeah, I'll show you that now on here. And then we'll just go through the area, fly over it manually.
Well met.
Where am I? Oh, I am here. Okay, Stonewall. Westreach Summit. Yeah, and I'll show you where the Alliance spot was. But it's all changed in that section. It's all under constant battle on this version of the game. On Classic, there's a peaceful section. I don't want to have to go back and show you, but just take my word for it. This place has virtually remained unchanged. From what I remember. It's one of those oddball areas where you can easily skip this area. It's still a good spot to come depending on the level range that you are. However, in retail, in this version of the game, for the most part, the game scales to you. You can do expansions in any order you want. Hell, you could be level 10, 15. Don't quote me on this. And you can like go right away to Wrath of the Lich King if you want. So again, a lot of these things are amazing. The changes, pick the expansion. You want to skip Burning Crusade? Go ahead. You want to go right into Cataclysm? You want to go Mists of Pandaria? You want to level up through there instead? You can. And again, options. I think it's incredible that they've done that. Again, that whole day and night cycle, even though they added it to Classic, I'm surprised it was actually that bright out. Didn't remember it being like that. Plus, we were 15 minutes later on this version, retail, and it was way dark. You could see all the stars again. Yeah, this spot again is nothing to look at. I just wanted to fly through it quickly because I screwed up when I was in the Barrens. I went to rat shit. I was actually supposed to go to Shimmering Flats and all that, 1,000 Needles, to retrace step by step what I did in Classic. Oh yeah, I remember that quest. With all the druids you gotta fight. So yeah, it's really flashy. You got all these glows. Yeah, you can just do so much in this game. But there's like fucking no one around. Your own town, right there, is always under attack by some NPCs in this version of the game. So my take is really that Classic to me overall is the better game. It requires more patience. It requires more of you. But it pays tenfold. I truly believe it. See, this is all being attacked. This is where the Night Elf have their flight path, and this was not underwater. Remember? I just showed this to you. This is one of those extra flight paths that they've added again. See? Look at that. One swipe, they're all dead. Fuck them all. Yeah, because... Oh, there's the Great Lift. This is where you come in from the Barrens, right? And you take the elevator down. Well, that's gone. So yeah, we were just here, remember? I was writing down. You know, like down here. So I could turn into a thing. See? Does this look familiar now? It's all underwater. And as far as I know, through questing... See, everything remained intact, but everything's underwater. I fucking hate it. Because there's like... I don't know. Water's cool and all, having a few water areas. But it just... I don't know, it just felt like it further killed the game. This was an iconic area. I mean, you can't even fly here anymore. That's why they added that flight path I just landed at, right? Just to make up for the fact that Freewind Post is gone. I was here, remember? And I was all like, oh, I'll go down this elevator and watch it be the one that's going to come last. A little bit further up ahead. These are all bad Torns. Remember, just because they're Torn doesn't mean they're technically automatically Horde. Oh, what's this guy? He looks fancy. Not anymore. This spot right here. See? That's the old inn. See, it's been completely taken over. This used to be the... Or is it over here? Yeah, it's over here, sorry. Remember earlier? An hour ago? See? There's the old flight path. You can see the... You know, these two wyvern things. This is where the flight path used to be. Yeah, you're gonna regret that. Remember earlier? And I was like, oh, I'll go to this one here. And then this one ended up coming first. Right? Well, obviously, there's no elevators now. That's where it used to be. And then on the edge, there is some questing that people could do now. This is newer. There is some questing that could be done here, but for the most part, maybe I'm just conservative when it comes to WoW, but they fucking ruined it. Oh, and I'll show you Gadget Sand. Remember Shimmering Flats? Remember how it transitioned to that nice flat gray area? Here, let's go underwater. actually came from over here a little bit earlier. Remember? That's where that person was that was dead, right over here. And I resurrected them, and I was like, I waited 20 minutes for that. Well, see? Revive. I can just revive at will on retail with a druid. So again, all the land is there. All the old paths are there. I'd laugh if there was a body of a person right here. It's like, what? I'd be like, what the hell kind of parallel universe shit is this? So yeah, you could still see it. Remember Quentin? That night elf NPC that I mangled? Yeah, he's not around anymore. This section here has a flight path, I believe. Yeah, it does. And the racetrack and everything, it's something crashed. There's like a massive whale shark boss thing, and we don't know exactly what fully happened, apart from the whole cataclysm thing with the Deathwing, the dragon there. Caused a bunch of havoc. So it goes pretty deep there. But see, this is where Quentin was, right around here. You can see all the old buildings are still there. They're all underwater. There's some treasure hunter people, NPCs. But the night elf one, Quentin, he's not there. I get a little weird because sometimes it's like these NPCs have huge history. And I'm like, what became of them? Now they're just South Shore treasure hunters. Like, he was a named NPC. I think he was right here. Remember, I said, bye-bye, Quentin. I just mangled him. So that's that. What a fucking waste. And then I went into this area here. Just drain the fucking water already. And now we're in Tenaris. You remember this? Remember I showed you? Oh yeah, I used to kill people. See? Told you. See, all that whole section now is underwater. Remember earlier? The inn? See how it's changed? The buildings are a little bit different. Remember I was like, oh, I used to jump up here. Remember? There's like a little tent thing, and it's like, oh. And I tried to jump on here, and I missed my step. And there was like a big, like wall around here. And I told you I would come here and zap people. Yeah, so they changed some of the buildings, as you can see. But it's more or less the same. For the kind of the most part. Yeah, sort of. This is all new. And then remember I took a flight path to, Ratchet? Remember that shit? I've been waiting all night to say that. Where is the goddamn flight path? Wow, it's been a while. There he is. Because in Classic, he's not right there. He is outside around here. In Classic, he's right in there. So that's why I have every right to have been like, what the fuck? And there's Ratchet. And then this is where we'll end the journey in a moment. Yeah. Yeah, all underwater. Now, there's a quest where you fly on a griffin or something. You bomb all these people. I mean, this isn't too bad because it's not like the whole area is underwater. See? There's a section there. Then we'll head on over to Ratchet, which is more or less the same. See, there's that same building. The bird's not... Oh, it is. The bird's still there. O'Reilly. But yeah, look how dark it is. Man, I'm getting tired. I think this is one of the longest WoW videos I've ever made. And all I did was nothing. That's why these videos get 2 views, 3 views. But I had fun. That is the main thing with YouTube, isn't it? Are you having fun doing what you're doing? And if you do, then that's payment right there. But we'll land in the rat shit, and then that'll be the end of that. Oh yeah, you get 10% increased XP and rewards when you're flagged up for the PvP. See, now it's starting to get a little bit brighter. But it's dynamic depending on what part of the map you're in. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do for the future of the game. I don't remember it bringing me this close to Theramore Island. Yeah, I don't remember that. I think it brought me a little further out west because Theramore Island's very much there. This is a huge alliance place. Yeah, I think it just brings me... Yeah, it brings you in a little bit closer. The flight path direction's not 100% the same. Can't say I'm surprised. I find this relaxing. Just cruising around, seeing what's out there. Kind of wasn't the best time of day to do this, but for me to make this video, it was. Either which way, this version retail here, we wouldn't have really seen anyone anyways. Classic would have been better. It's more time consuming to get around again, because you can't just fly on a whim to wherever you want. Way back in the day, old school. There was an island, I believe it's right here. Maybe? It wasn't there, was it? No, I think it's here. And warriors learned some skill. I can't remember what it was. Free Island. Yeah, I think it was here. You had to do a quest. Oh, see? The doors. Oh, no. Yeah, it's still there. I mean, I don't know what's going on in there now, but... There we go. Look how dark it is. Again, I still can't get over that. It's radically different. Ugh, I had to sneeze. It was bound to happen. Yeah. There you have it. And then that special star. I still don't know what that star is. It's not this thing here. I don't know what it is, but... Anyways. Well, that's it for me. As always, if you made it this far, seriously, call a doctor. Because it's not normal. If you liked the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. And if you didn't like the video, well, that's too bad. This is what you'll dream of every night when you go to bed. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, obviously, that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next video. Bye for now.